Welcome to Rambam. We conclude today the sixth book. It's a little hard to believe that, like, whoa, we're just marching forward. No stop. I guess when you do three chapters a day, you're marching and there's no stopping, right? We're doing the laws of Erchin Becharamim, eighth chapter, finishing the book. This got to do with vows, oaths, right? And we're last chapter. So on the 15th of Adar, which is the day after Purim, except in Jerusalem, that's the day of Purim, the court diverts their attention from other concerns and examines and investigates matters involving needs of the community and consecrated property. Remember, we're talking about you took vows and uh, oaths to consecrate property, to either property, monies, values, so on and so forth, that are given to the Bedek Abayis for the treasury, the temple treasury, right? Their responsibility is then for the community. So now those funds on the 15th of Adar, they're concentrating on those things, right? They check the matter, research the cases involved, so the consecrated property and dedicated offerings will be redeemed, and the erchin and the pledges of the worth are collected from all those who are liable for them, so that the entire nation would be prepared to give the gift of the shkolim to maintain the house of God, of our God, right? Because in the month of Adar, we're already preparing to give the half a shekel, because that's a half a shekel. That was, if you will, a tax. I mean, Torah gives, right, that law. We learned that already. A half a shekel, that everybody then has an equal participation in the daily offerings, the communal offerings, right? So all of the previous things that were owed to the temple treasury, they, made an accounting of everything and make sure everything is paid up. So that way, you're going to now have to have monies for the half a shekel. Consecrated articles are redeemed only on the basis of valuation of three experts. So remember, the temple treasury, it doesn't need articles, it doesn't need land, it doesn't need anything but money. Because with money, they can then do all the things they're responsible for, right? But yet people consecrate land, property, um, movable objects, and so on and so forth. So it needs to be redeemed, and therefore it needs to be evaluated. So you need three experts. Similarly, when movable property is being taken as security, when one is liable for erchin, it should be evaluated by three people. So three people need to evaluate what if the temple treasury took a collateral, right, security, and of course for the items themselves. And when an animal or the like is designated as an erech, it should be evaluated by three people. Whenever the land is designated as an erech, but what if land was given? Everything until now, we're talking about movable property, right? But land or erech for humans, right? Or if say you say, I'm giving my value, I'm not giving my erchin, my worth. The different words, it would be different things, because you don't need to evaluate if it's erech, because the Torah speaks about the word erech. And when you do it that way, but if you say, I'm giving sort of like my personal value, so then it would be, well, we'll see over here. So humans must be collected from landed property. And its value owned by 10 people. And one of them must be a kohen. Because it mentions Kohen, about the evaluation, so therefore Kohen has to be part of it. If one of them, for the passage speaks about redemption, mentions a Kohen, a priest. Similarly, if a person says, I pledge my worth, right, which is not erech, or the worth of so-and-so, the worth of my hand, the worth of my foot, the evaluation of the worth of my hand and the foot is made, and made by 10 people, and one of them has to be a Kohen. Right. Again, because a person is like landed property. When consecrated property, whether landed property or movable property, is redeemed from the temple treasury, an announcement is made before all those who might seek to redeem it. Right. So they make an announcement, they put up for sale, that we've got all these things that could be redeemed. We learned, we didn't learn the process though. Now we're learning the process. The 15th of Adar, day after Purim, they have to make sure everything is paid up from the previous year, right? They're going through all the books. They have to evaluate stuff because they have to make sure if it wasn't yet redeemed, it's got to be redeemed now, right? So now we're talking about the process, right? Well, I mean, there are many. So announcement is made. The following rules apply. If one says, I will redeem them for 10 slaim, another says 20, right? It's going up for auction. It's going on the auction block, right? So one says for 10, one says for 20, a third says for 30, and a fourth says for 40, and the fifth says for 50. And when one who pledged 50 alone retracts, the guy said 50, but then he realized he forgot his Visa card. Right? Or he retracted for whatever. He made the pledge, but realized that, excuse me. Where's David's coffee? Tomorrow. We're ready for tomorrow? No, if you put it in there already, leave it. Don't change it. Okay. So the guy at the top, he retracted. He made, okay, he pledged it, but he doesn't have the funds. And the one who pledged 50, so he alone retracts. So we expropriate 10 slime from the property of the latter and give the consecrated article to the one who pledged it for 40. Thus the temperature receives 50, 10 from the one and 40 from the other. Because the treasury cannot lose out. Because you made a vow. You can't keep your vow? Well, you're going to have to pay the 10 to make up from the 40 to equal 50, which was your vow. Words matter, exactly. Oh, man. If one who pledged 40 also retracts, we expropriate 10 slime from his property and give the consecrated article to the one who pledged 30. And if the others also retract, we follow the same process until the option is given to the first. If the first who pledged 10 also retracts, we announce the redemption to consecrated article a second time and sell it. If it is redeemed for less than 10, collect the difference from the person originally. Okay. Okay, we got it. When does the above apply? When they retracted one after the other. If, however, they all retracted at the same time, we divide the sum among them. So what does it imply? The first one says, I will redeem it for 10. Second, 20. Third, for 24. And the second and the third retracted at the same time. 10, 20, 24. We enable and the second and the third retract at the same time. We enable the first to redeem it for 10. We extract 7 from the property of both the second and the third. Because the temple treasury, it went up to 24. It cannot lose that 24, right? When you make that commitment, even though you can't pay it in the end, but the commitment needs to be paid. Even though it's not from you entirely, right? The commitment needs to be paid to the temple treasury. So you go back to the first guy, he said 10. Now 14 is left over. So 7 and 7. You can't pay the whole thing? Okay, you have to pay 7. Assuming if all 3 of them retract and the consecrated article is ultimately sold for 3, we expropriate 7 slime from property of all of them. These principles are followed in all instances. So it went up to 24, but in the end, it was only sold for 3. It's 21 left. 3 people divide in 21 into 3 is 7, and that's what they have to pay. Okay, folks, I have no energy left. I'm sorry. I'm speaking a whole morning. I have no energy left. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
God
Hope you
bless
get
you.
some rest.
Yes,
Thank you.
good day, good fast for you.